Today on Oz.
That's a big issue, folks.
An identity victim shows Dr. Oz how easy it is for thieves to steal his medical info.
Is your password the name of a TV show host?
You actually have that?
How to outsmart crooks after your cash and medical data.
The tools you need to protect yourself.
Plus, sure, it's great for popcorn and heating leftovers, but wait till you see what else your microwave can do. Coming up next on Dr. Oz.
Now, you have seen the headlines. Security breaches at banks and major big box stores have left all of us feeling pretty vulnerable to identity theft. And now the FBI is warning your personal health records are the latest target. That's why today I'm giving you the tools you need to protect yourself from the identity thieves after your money and your medical records.
It's become a common headline. Identity theft. Crooks stealing personal information for financial gain. And now, medical identity theft is being called an epidemic, already affecting over 2.3 million Americans and growing. But unlike traditional credit card crime, medical identity theft victims are rarely informed about suspicious or fraudulent activity, which could lead to incorrect treatment and devastating effects on your health. Yet most of us are still unaware of how to protect our medical and financial information, or just how easy it is to steal. With 90% of healthcare organizations admitting to breaches and ATMs and cell phones also being targeted, no one is safe. CEO John Sileo's identity was stolen, and the thief embezzled $300,000 from John's clients. The crime destroyed his company, so John made it his mission to help others protect their personal information. With your medical and financial identity at risk, you may feel like a sitting duck, but John says there are ways to outsmart the thieves and keep your identity safe.
John's joining us. What is the biggest misperception you think people have about identity theft?
You know, we've all gotten very familiar with regular identity theft, loss of a credit card number, social security number. But increasingly, thieves are going after our medical data. They want the health insurance information. They want the doctor's records. It's terrible, and that's what I fight back against.
This is shocking to me. I thought it was all about just us as doctors being careful. You as the consumers are getting robbed when this happens in a much more important way than with credit cards. So the first scam we're going to identify today is having to do with health, and I've asked Nikki Burton to join us. Nikki actually went through a crisis of her own, and I'd love to hear from you. And just tell us the story of how surprised you were and what happened.
Okay, well, what happened to me is that when I was 17 years old, I tried to donate blood at the Red Cross, and I was actually unable to do so because their records showed that my person and my information had HIV and was HIV positive.
That's pretty shocking.
Yeah, it was, especially.
Were you HIV positive?
Nope, and not then, and I was 17, so I was rather overwhelmed. But I later learned that a man had used my identity and my information, my records, to obtain treatment for HIV, and that was how that information had gotten into their database. So I tried to correct it right away, but it was actually 6 years before I was successful.
It's an unbelievable tale. 6 years. You walked around with a diagnosis of being HIV positive and God knows what else.
So far, but yeah, we think it's just that I was HIV positive.
So how do we outsmart these medical identity thieves?
So first of all, you got to share with care. You've got to give that information only when it's absolutely necessary. And ask your doctor's office, do they need your social security number? Sure. If in doubt, put a dash and put the last 4 characters. You don't have to give the whole thing. Now, women
Let me slow down for a second. Yeah. That's a big issue, folks, because even in my own office, I always ask patients their social security numbers. We have 15 different places we can get that. I don't even know why we ask it now that you bring it up. I think we ought to start there. Why are people asking for our social security numbers all the time whenever we sign in a hospital?
I'm with you.
Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
So let's just, but from now on, let's just do what you just said. Put the last 4 digits in there so we know that it's you, if we have to double check. But everything else should just be dashes.
Yeah. You know, if it's Medicare, you're going to have to give it right now. But for all other purposes, only give it if you absolutely have to. Another thing you can do is monitor those records, those vital documents that you've got. So looking at the explanation of benefits that you get in the mail after a procedure to see if somebody's, draining your account. Looking at your actual doctor's records, ask for a copy and see, has something changed since you were there last?
Yeah, monitor your vital signs in
Yeah.
a whole different way.
And, because medical identity theft, it bleeds, it's contagious, it contains your financial identity, your social security number, as it did here. So you also have to protect that side of it. And you can do that by monitoring your financial identity for free on a website called annualcreditreport.com.
All right.
Good information.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Of course.
Come on over. I want to talk about the next problem we have, which is ATM machine skimming. Carolyn's here, and like a lot of folks, how are you, Carolyn? So we're all worried about getting ripped off when we go to the ATM machine. This is something that's been a long-term concern of yours. Has it ever happened to you?
It hasn't happened to me, but I can probably see where it could happen.
So, John, if you don't mind, I'd like you to walk us through how this skimming happens. And folks, pay close attention here. This is happening all over the country, and it is absolutely stunning.
So this is a typical traditional ATM that you might see in any type of store. Go ahead and put your card in as if you were banking, and you better pull out all the cash, because if you don't, the thieves can. You see, without even knowing it, if you don't know what to look for, this device here protruding from the machine, if you wiggle it a little bit, it comes off.
Oh my gosh.
And it's got a
Don't see that?
digital skimmer. This is called skimming. It skims the data off of your card without even knowing it.
It's unbelievable.
It looks just like the machine.
So what happens if once someone skims your card, and it looks like the regular old machine, then what, they take the data off it?
Yeah, so they take the data off of that, and then the thief creates an exact duplicate of the card that you have, and now they're shopping as you. They're literally cashing it out.
So they're two cards.
Online. Yeah.
Literally.
Exactly. They make it a digital copy.
And then they go on a shopping spree.
Go on a shopping spree, they cash it out before you even have time to react. This all happens very quickly, generally online.
If someone was taking your cards while you're still at the machine and buying dresses, outfits, swim gear, whatever, how long would it take for you to figure that out?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't know for about a month, because that's when I check my credit card statements. So a whole month would go by.
So how do we outsmart the skimming scam?
Yeah, so, I mean, if you see something sticking off, these were made to be flush, right? If it's protruding like this, wiggle it, pull it, see if it comes off. They put these on with two-sided tape. You can foil it really easily just by looking at your ATM machine.
Unbelievable. Carolyn, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here's a little memento of your stay with us. Stay with you. All right. The last scam we're going to talk about today is called smishing text scams. It's something that happens on text phones pretty regularly. Now, you say this is done quite frequently, and most of us don't even know it's happening.
Right. Yeah. In fact, we've done it to you. Did you get any strange?
me?
Yeah. Get any strange text last night?
I got a text from someone whose email I thought I recognized, but it was a weird email.
Yes.
And so I clicked it. It didn't take me anywhere.
What did that text say?
Well, that text was bizarre, but I did send text out. I texted my
Yeah.
wife.
You sent a text after that?
Yeah, I sent my wife's traveling, so I sent her a text. It's I don't remember how intimate it was. It was something. I hope that's not on television.
Well, I think it's about to be. Is this the text you sent? Miss you, lots of kisses, XOXO.
That was the first text. She's been gone for a couple days, so.
So this software actually recorded that text.
You're kidding
as
me.
you wrote it and sent it off to me so that I could see what you were texting.
So on your computer, you were monitoring what I was doing on my phone. What else could you be able to track?
You know, you can, if this key logging software, which records every keystroke you put, is on there, I can see emails, I can see contacts, I can see photos. If you have a banking app, I can see you log in. If you have a health app, I can see your health information.
So if I have banking app, this is my phone. So
Yeah.
if I wanted to use this, could you read what I was doing?
Yeah, so keep it close. I'm going to move back here with the iPad. I want you to log in to your bank account right now. Keep it tight.
All right, I'm on the account. Here's my
So
password.
this is now taking a look. It's sending me what he's writing on there.
All right,
Give it a second.
I just logged in.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Is your password the name of another daytime TV show host?
It is. You actually have that?
And is it 5 characters?
That's it. That's it. That's unbelievable.
I've got your
unbelievable.
password because of that software that you loaded when you downloaded, when you clicked on that malicious link.
So how do I avoid that? How does the average viewer avoid that happening?
Yeah, so you can either not click on the links in text. That's kind of a radical way. Or if you have to click on a link, think of 3 things. Number 1, do you know the sender? Do you trust them? Do you know that they've still got control of their phone? Number two, is the URL something you recognize? Is it a legitimate site that you've checked out? Right. And most importantly, were you expecting the link? If you're not expecting a link, don't do it. It's probably an advertisement. It's a scam trying to get you to download the malware or give away your personal information.
This has been fantastic advice, John. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.
To learn more, you can read John Sileo's new book. It's called Privacy Means Profit. You can learn John Sileo's do's and don'ts of creating a safe password as well. Do this. I'm doing this today myself on DrOz.com. We'll be right back.
Next, the study that's rocking the agricultural world. Could the world's top weed killer cause cancer? And it's not just used on farms. It could be in your garden as well. Top food and environmental advocates go head-to-head. Is your family at risk? Next. Juliana Rancic.
How you doing now?
Sets the record straight on the eating disorder rumors, the stress and scrutiny of her marriage, her job, and her heartbreaking baby news. All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
It's the world's most used weed killer, found not just on farms, but also in your garden. It's called Roundup. Now there's breaking news. A new report from the World Health Organization, which is also declared today World Health Day, says Roundup might cause cancer. And that could be a game changer.
The study rocked big agriculture and could have major implications for home gardeners too. The World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer recently gathered together 17 experts from 11 countries to answer this question. What is the likelihood that glyphosate, the active ingredient in the world's most widely used herbicide, might cause cancer? After analyzing 30 years of research, their alarming conclusion? Glyphosate is probably carcinogenic. With the use of glyphosate in Roundup soaring over the last 20 years, is it time to ask, are the risks worth it?
Dr. Alan Green is a pediatrician who has been studying the use of pesticides in foods for over 20 years. Scott Faber is the vice president of the Environment Working Group. Scott, 30 years ago, the EPA, the group that protects us, determined that Roundup might cause cancer. And then 6 years later, they actually changed their minds and said, well, it's not really a problem. So who can we believe?
Well, at the end of the day, the world's cancer experts, the folks at the World Health Organization, have concluded that this weed killer, which has exploded in use as more and more farmers have used GMO corn and GMO soybeans, is a probable carcinogen. And this is the body that every regulator in every government across the globe relies on to determine what does cause cancer.
All right, so my goal is to always have an open and honest conversation. You all know that. But I couldn't get anyone to appear on the show who supports glyphosate. Now, we reached out to the Grocery Manufacturers of America, CropLife America, that's an advocacy group of fertilizer, and Monsanto, that's the maker of Roundup. They all declined to be on the show, but we did get statements from them. CropLife America said the IARC report contradicts established scientific consensus on these products and reaches inaccurate conclusions based on a flawed process. So, Dr. Green, why does this report have everyone so up in arms?
Well, a couple of reasons. One is that glyphosate is so commonly used. It's the top weed killer in the world. The U.S. Geological Survey says that in farm parts of our country, it actually shows up in the rainwater, not just on the farms. And it's not just used in agriculture. People use it on parks. People use it in ball fields. People spray it in their own yard. So one, it's super common. The second thing is that this isn't just another study. You know, you hear one study and then another study, but this is IARC. This is the world's leading experts. It's not the policymakers or regulators who are saying, what should we do? It's not the chemical industry. It's people with one question: can this chemical cause cancer in people? And they gave it one of their highest levels of concern.
So we also got a note from Monsanto. I want to share this with you because I want you to have to, be pushed to answer their questions. They said, in part, all labeled uses of glyphosate are safe for human health. Many of the regulatory bodies and science organizations have reviewed 3 decades of data on glyphosate. Their overwhelming consensus has been that glyphosate does not pose a risk to humans, wildlife, or the environment. So defenders of these pesticides argue that this data is coming from mice, not humans, and they're making an accusation that we're raising an alarm too soon.
Yeah, I think that's just not right. Now, when people have cancer, it's really hard to go back and trace what exposure might have caused that, when, where, how. It's really hard to tease out. There's so many factors. But IARC released their findings in one of the world's leading medical journals, and they had 3 strands of evidence. First, they did have animal studies where you can control everything, and the only difference is they got exposed to this weed killer, and they found strong evidence that in mammals it can cause cancer. Mm-hmm. Secondly, though, you can't do that in people.
No,
but
thankfully.
But what you can do is expose human cells to the weed killer. And when that was done, they found DNA damage and chromosomal damage. And then the third strand of evidence...
Which could lead to cancer.
Which could lead to cancer, exactly. And then the third strand of evidence is they looked at the people who are routinely exposed to glyphosate just in the course of their work. And they found, and this was done in 3 countries, including the US, and they found higher rates of a certain type of cancer in the people who are exposed. So taking all of that together, all of the evidence together, they said this is probably a human carcinogen.
Yeah. This is a big debate, everyone. Folks who make these products say, well, we need more data before you can make that statement. I think it's the opposite. Not enough research doesn't mean it's safe. It means we actually don't know. And it's sort of upon us, our obligation, to figure it out before we start releasing it and exposing kids and the others. So I'd like to bring Robin O'Brien in. She's a mom and a food advocate. You've heard all these comments. Is it frustrating to you to hear these responses from the folks who make these products?
You know, it's really not at all surprising. I was a financial analyst that covered the food industry, and if you step back for a minute and think about this big chemical company, this is one of their most profitable products. So of course they're going to try to dismiss any concern around it or refute the science. But like these two have said, these are our leading cancer researchers from the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute. And countries like the Netherlands have already taken this precautionary measure. They've already banned this product. And here we are in the United States, and you look at the rates of cancer here in this country, 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women are expected to get cancer in their lifetime. The CDC now says that cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children under the age of 15. It's time to take some proactive measures to exercise precaution. I mean, I know as a mom, when we're pregnant, we do everything we can. We take all these little precautionary measures to give that information to citizens today here in the United States so that they can take personal responsibility for their health. I think it's absolutely critical at this point.
So the good news for me is that we reached out to the Environmental Protection Agency, and here's what they said in part. The EPA is currently reassessing glyphosate. And if at any time the EPA discovers that the use of a registered pesticide may result in unreasonable adverse effects on people or the environment, we will take action to remove it from the marketplace or limit its use. I mean, Scott, this sounds huge. The EPA is actually reevaluating, again, this widely used product.
And of course, EPA should take another look at it. But let's not forget, EPA got this wrong. For 20 years, we've been told that this herbicide is a better alternative than other herbicides. We've sprayed more than 200 million pounds of it every year on hundreds of millions of acres of cropland and around our homes and schools. And it turns out that the experts, the world's leading cancer experts, now have found that this is probably a human carcinogen. So that doesn't mean EPA won't get it right next time, but what it does mean is that we ought to show a little humility, use a little precaution, and at least let people know whether their food is being grown with these incredibly dangerous herbicides.
Robin, what do you want to see done as a mom?
No one wants to be told what to eat. Nobody wants to be told how to feed their kids. It's hard enough as a mom just trying to get your kids fed. But nobody wants cancer either. And I think about how our grandmothers, when they were confronted with the tobacco industry claiming that their products were safe, they asked for a label. They asked for a warning label. And today, the majority of our food supply is now genetically engineered to be Roundup ready, to be tolerant of this very weed killer that the World Health Organization is saying it might cause cancer. And I think if you can give that information to parents, if you can give that information to our country to try to head off the escalating rates of this disease, that's just a smart precautionary measure.
Thank you, Robin. Because we all know what the health risks are, and we need Washington, D.C. to listen. That's why in September, if you remember, I asked you to sign the Take Action petition to urge the president to stop the approval of a more powerful pesticide made with glyphosate. And you answered the call. We received over 100,000 signatures. That's what the White House got. It is time for change. It is your right to demand safer food and environmental safety. You can find all the statements mentioned here on the Dr. Oz Show on our website, droz.com. We'll be right back.
Next, The Housewives of New York are getting real. From their fights to their figures, they're all about to face the truth.
Good, regular sex is one of the best beauty products you can have for your skin. Is it true?
Answering your questions about what you want to know most.
Whoever said a doctor's visit isn't fun has obviously never been to the Dr. Oz show. Is that right? Make your appointment today. Go to droz.com/tickets and sign up for free tickets. Betrayal, crumbling marriages, new loves, and plenty of wild nights. That's a typical week for the Real Housewives of New York. But no matter what the ladies face, their faces will always look good. So today, Bravo's Season 7 cast of The Real Housewives of New York are answering all of your questions. So welcome out, Carol, Luann, Sonia's behind her. There's Kristen and Dorinda, the newest member. You guys look great. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Oh my goodness, they all look fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get in trouble with so many kisses. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So we're going to try to do something completely different. Just to start us off, you've all agreed to face the truth. So they've agreed to honestly answer all of the viewers' questions. I have the ones that are most commonly asked from at least my team, my viewers. You ready?
Ready.
Honesty, you all pledged to be honest?
Always.
Why not? Why not? Exactly. So you lead the way. All right, here goes.
Got it.
Who cares most about how they look? Which of the housewives cares most about how they look? We have a Kristen there. Kristen, oh my goodness. Kristen, is that true?
I think it might be.
Why would they all accuse you of caring so much about how you look?
I don't know. I think you should ask somebody else.
She's a model. So
She grew up with
It
it.
comes with the territory. Yeah, everywhere we go.
Yeah.
I like my hair and makeup, and I like my clothes.
And she's so pretty. So
Oh, they're being kind now. We'll see how this might get a little cattier as we go along. How about this question? Who's most obsessed with their weight?
This is
Goodness
We have an obvious choice here. Oh, we have a split here. Dorinda, you have to pick somebody, Dorinda.
Oh, wait,
Not
wait.
choosing,
Only,
but an option.
because we just had this
Dorinda.
I'm the person that should be obsessed with my weight. Okay, let me.
So Dorinda, why is it that they think you're most obsessed about your weight?
Oh, they think I'm obsessed
Yes.
with my weight?
Yes.
I change it because Carol's always
because she just brought it up to me in the dress.
I'm obsessed with Carol's weight.
Because I'm
That's why
obsessed
Carol.
with losing
weight right now. I think that's all I talk about.
I changed it. I'm obsessed with Carol's
okay with that, actually.
Why Carol's
I
weight?
was projecting.
because it doesn't
I
fit
just
you.
love her body. She has such a great ass, and she's thin and beautiful, and I love her.
No, but she's natural.
I'm obsessed with my weight. I'm obsessed with your weight too.
Okay.
So you're off the hook. You've been very honest. I appreciate it. Now ask away. I promise I'd answer your questions. Take it away. You go in any order you want. You want to start, Carol?
Okay, well, these are our health questions.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a believer that good, regular sex is one of the best beauty products you can have for your skin. Now, is that a wives' tale or is it true? Does it affect your? Is it a good anti-aging
I think
regimen?
it's very good for aging.
And I'm not advocating promiscuity.
That's why she looks so great.
No, consensual, monogamous sex, the right thing to do. I'll tell you a couple things. First of all, on average, the interaction is about 6 minutes long. We burn about 21 calories.
That's all.
That's all. So there's not much action taking place.
sex with?
I'm not asking about me. I'm just saying that's what the numbers are across the country. Is that very dissimilar from what your experience is generally?
Very dissimilar.
Well, yeah.
7 or 8.
6 minutes and you're out.
6 minutes. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
But it releases hormones and it's a de-stress.
Right. It's not because it burns calories. It de-stresses you. The hormones you release actually are the ones that rejuvenate you, makes you feel better. But in addition, if you look at makeup, what makeup primarily does is make you look attractive in a sexual way, right? The red rouge, the blushing of the cheeks, which happens when you get excited. The lipstick makes your lips more red.
Yeah.
Much of cosmetics is about making us look sexually excited, not just attractive, excited.
Right.
So it mimics youth. That's what the makeup does. So it's good to spend more time in that space in your life. Okay, Dorinda, the newest member of the group.
Yes, I have a question talking about weight. How do you stay thin or get thin without diet and exercising all the time? What's the magic? The magic thing. I have lots of magic.
And
All
very
this
yummy.
diet and exercise. Isn't all these magic diets? Tell me one of them works. Some magic diet.
No, there is no magic diet. And Posh, you don't want a magic diet because what you want is a lifestyle that lets you be what you want to be. The best way to do that is to focus on the calories you take in, which is by eating foods that have rich nutrients. Because your brain's not measuring calories, it's measuring nutrients. You give it food with nutrients in it, it'll stop you in time. Don't think exercise will get you there. That's a big mistake women make all the time. But the way you lose weight is by eating rich, nutrient-dense foods. Then actually your body will naturally stop you when it's happy. And so we talk about that in the show all the time. And we find many things work, but for different people at different times. So the 7th season's coming up. I have no idea why you guys sign up for this stuff because it's brutal in there. Right? So I want you all to watch The Real Housewives of New York in action. This promises to be very dramatic. Why do you sign up for this? It looks incredibly stressful to me.
We love each other, you know, inside. We really do.
For the money. For the money, we love each other. I have everything.
We had a lot of fun. I mean, you know, there's a lot of stress, sure, added to the situation, but we had really a lot of fun shooting this season. I personally had the best time.
And we argue our way to solution every time.
Yeah, we really it's like a big family.
Okay, a little surprise for you. I've been thinking about this segment for a while. And each season, you guys have those new taglines. So coolly done, nice, beautifully elegant. It's the iconic opening of every show. So I wanted in on the fun. So I took the liberty yesterday of crafting a few of my own possible taglines. But we couldn't decide which one was the best one. So I'm going to let you and our audience decide which ones you like the most.
Okay.
Are you willing to help?
Yeah.
Okay, don't be too catty about these. Take a look.
We're always catty.
The Big Apple isn't keeping this doctor away. The doctor will see you now. When I bring healthy back, I do it in style. I can handle trauma, but I can't deal with drama. So, what's your favorite?
They're all good.
I like the third one.
The third one.
You do it in style.
Do it live.
You do it in style.
We'll all do our taxes. You want to do it together?
Yeah, do yours again.
Oh, taglines from the show?
Yeah, you guys, we'll get it up right now. Everyone get it up right now. Do your taglines for this season.
Oh my God.
And I'll do mine at the end.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Wait, we're all together?
Dorinda, you're going to go first.
Really?
Yes. All right.
Okay, turn dun. No. I give Uptown a whole new attitude.
Pretty is smarter than you may think.
Everyone tells me to do just one thing. I'm doing Sonia.
Okay.
I'm going to do mine from last year.
The Big Apple has never tasted so sweet.
If you're going to gossip about me behind my back, at least check out my great ass.
How do I tap those?
That was ranked #1 of all the taglines.
That's a good one. Now, I notice you all turn your backs. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Take out your bottom here.
That's how you get that turn going, you know?
When I bring healthy back, I do it in style. You can catch the Real Housewives of New York City Tuesday nights at 9 on Bravo. Check them out. We'll be right back.
Next, it's your go-to appliance to heat up leftovers and pop your corn. But did you know your microwave is good for a whole lot more than just TV dinners? Unleash its true potential with these time-saving, unconventional uses. Things you didn't know your microwave could do. Next. All new Emmy-nominated Dr. Oz show. Juliana Rancic.
How you doing now?
Sets the record straight on the eating disorder rumors, the stress and scrutiny of her health, her marriage, her job, and her heartbreaking baby news. Plus,
What's for dinner?
healthy one-pot wonders that are cheap
That's my kind of meal.
and will feed the whole family.
I'm putting my bib on now.
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
Your microwave, you know it's great for making popcorn, fantastic for heating over leftovers. But today, Dr. Oz viewers are stepping inside our microwave laboratory right here to show us the things you didn't know you could do with a microwave. First up is Nikia. What do you do with Nikia? How are you?
Hi, Dr. Oz. How are you?
What do you want to show us in our microwave lab?
Okay, well, you know what? This is a trick I learned from my husband.
From your husband?
From my husband. What I use it for is to clean certain things in the kitchen. One being the cutting board. He taught me on the rag that he would clean the dishes with. And I was like, you know what? If you could do it with a rag and a sponge, I'm going to use a cutting board. And it absolutely works.
Show us how you do it.
I'm going to show you.
You actually trained him to wash the dishes? Is that right?
Not only did I train him to wash the dishes, I trained him to cook, pick up the kids. Yes.
Where is he? Is he here?
No.
He's busy with the kids, I bet.
He's actually, he's on a shoot, so.
Oh, I'm very proud of him.
Okay, so let me show you how to do this. You see it's a little dirty. You put the, oh wait, hold up, we gotta open this.
Yeah.
I use the dish soap like this. I wet the sponge.
You don't put the soap in the water, you put the soap right on.
No, you don't wanna do that. I just put the soap right on. Kinda wanna go like this, right? Just dab it a little bit. And then what I'm gonna do is pop it in the microwave.
Oh, you don't have to actually scrub it.
No, this kills the germs too. You put it in the microwave, 60 seconds. You know, I am a mother of 4, so I need things that are quick and convenient, but you know, if you consider my husband, I'm a mother of 5. So you just, and then you hit start.
That's it?
That's it.
And when you get it out, you have to scrub it down a little bit then?
You don't. It's actually clean, it disinfected. You use it for a sponge, you use it for a rag, but please don't use any metal materials because I can't be responsible if you blow something up.
Of course not. Your husband would tell me that. Thank you very much,
Thank
Natika.
you.
I appreciate it. All right, let's see what else is in the microwave. So we've got in our something here that's pretty cool. It's a cake in a mug. Looks pretty cool like that. So I want you to understand how to make this. Gemma, she actually made this in less than a minute. Take a look.
Hi, Dr. Oz. I know you can do a lot of amazing things in a microwave, but did you know you can make a cake in a microwave? Let me show you how. In a microwavable mug, you're gonna mash up your ripe banana. Next, we're gonna add in our peanut butter and mix it well. Next, mix in your little bit of sugar. Then crack in your egg and mix well. Keep on mixing until you see the egg combine with the peanut butter. And then lastly, add in your cocoa powder. Our chocolate mug cake is ready for the microwave. Our chocolate mug cake is done and it smells gorgeous. This chocolate cake is full of protein, gluten-free, and it tastes great. So one of the great things about these mug cakes is that they're portion controlled for those times where you just need some cake.
All right, Constance is here. She says her microwave can make up for all your mistakes. How is that, Constance? How does it protect us from our errors?
All right, so the microwave is my best friend. I am a very busy person. I'm at the house by 4 o'clock in the morning and not home until probably like 8 or 9. I need my beans. I'm a vegetarian, so I eat a lot of beans and rice. I don't have time to soak beans for 24 hours, and if I did, I probably forgot about them.
I would too.
So, here is a life hack. You're gonna take 3 cups of water per 1 cup of beans.
All right, so roughly this much.
Yeah, roughly that much. You're gonna pour it in here. All right, so we have it poured in, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna take this, and we're gonna put it in the microwave for 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes, you're gonna let it soak for an hour so that the water will absorb into the beans and make it really soft.
All right, so 15 minutes?
15 minutes, and then 1 hour of just letting it cool off and everything.
Yeah, it's the same. And then you can make whatever you want to make out of it.
And you make whatever, it's really, really soft.
Yeah, it seems too good to be true, but you're absolutely right.
I'm telling you, it works. I do it all the time.
So why would anybody soak their beans from now on?
I don't understand, like, this is 2015. It's time to move on.
We're done with soaking beans. All right, very nicely done. Thank you so much. Guys, to all my guests, I appreciate the tips. You can find out more things you can do with your microwave on DrOz.com. I'll be right back.
What's your favorite microwave hack?
With a young child, we're always looking for ways to save money. When our sponges get a little old, I moisten them and put it in the microwave for a minute. Perks it right up, good as new.
Share yours on Facebook.com/Dr. Oz. Next, do you get confused when you shop the dairy aisle? From whole to skim to the new designer milks on the market. What do these dairy labels really mean? Are these new enhanced milks really worth your milk money? Find out which carton is best for you. Coming up next.
This video might have appeared on your Facebook page. It showed up on mine, and it's gotten over 13 million hits. Take a look.
Gotta get the bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and milk. They said snow. I gotta get the bread and milk. Oh my God. I gotta get the bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and milk. Oh my God.
The truth is, no matter what the weather, milk's at the top of everyone's grocery list. Well, let's face it, the milk aisle is getting confusing, from whole to skim to new designer milks. Today I'm going to tell you what milk labels really mean to help you become a savvier shopper. And there's someone here today who, well, as you just saw, is really concerned about milk. Please welcome the bread and milk guy, comedian Vic DiBenedetto.
I gotta get the bread and milk, Doc! I gotta get the bread and milk! They said snow! What is the emergency here?
I love it.
It's ridiculous.
We have lots of practice. Come on over here.
Come on, let's have fun.
Nutrition diva and author of Secrets for a Healthy Diet, Monica Frey-Nagel's here. How are you, Monica?
Hi, Monica.
So she's going to simplify it for us, make it easier for people like me and you who don't get this stuff sometimes. So look over to the side there. You see the skim milk? We're going to talk about the skinny on skim milk here. Which of these do you normally buy from that top shelf?
I actually go for the skim milk, this one right here.
Well, that's enhanced skim milk. Is that what you drink, or you drink the regular stuff?
I drink the regular skim milk. There's nothing better than an ice cold glass of skim milk with a box of chocolate chip cookies.
You had me up until cookies.
Am I right?
All right, help us a little bit. What does the label mean? First, what does enhanced mean versus regular skim milk?
Okay, so I'm sure, is this the first one that's gone on the shelf during a snowstorm?
This is the last one. This is I knocked over a lady with a walker for this one.
So the enhanced, this is skim milk.
I'll model it.
So non-fat milk, but it's got extra protein and extra calcium, and they do that by adding dried milk powder to it, just like the instant milk that you might have in your cupboard at home.
So,
that's the secret.
This is regular cupboard. Is this the enhanced stuff?
This is the enhanced over here. Does it taste different?
It's much fuller.
Yes, that's right. It tastes a little bit less watery than skim milk.
Are these becoming pretty popular, the enhanced ones?
They've been around for a long time, and people do, because it tastes a little bit less watery than the skim milk, but it's still non-fat, and people like the extra protein.
What do you think, Vic?
I agree with her. She's a nutritionist. I think she knows best.
Stick with me.
Yes.
Drag him over here while you're coming. All right, next big confusing area. No, leave that. We got more shopping to do.
Oh,
so let's talk about whole milk. One of the biggest misconceptions is whole milk. You say it's misunderstood for a bunch of reasons.
Well, actually, yeah, I'd love to clear this up. You know, people are afraid of whole milk because they think it's high in fat, right?
All right, so compare whole, 2%, and skim.
Right, so whole milk doesn't have any of the fat taken out of it, but it's still almost 97% fat-free. And that's what people don't understand. So here's what we have to kind of explain this. And this is right out of my book. I tried to break this down because people are really confused about this. So in one whole container, 1 whole quart of whole milk, you have just 6 teaspoons of butter fat.
Wow.
That's what that represents. But in 2% milk, the reduced fat, 4 teaspoons.
So it's,
it's not
a little bit more than half.
Different, right? It's about 2/3. And then down here in skim milk, just a smidge. Yeah, but as Dr. Oz said earlier, the more fat you take out, the more milk sugar you're left with. So.
Everyone, my announcement today, I think we should go to whole milk. I think we're paying a price and taste and not getting a benefit. And studies have shown you're actually better off with the whole milk. So let's not adulterate.
Well,
it's not a big difference in calories.
This is New York City. We got a big 3-card Monty. How about now?
This is what I'm talking about.
Anybody? Yeah, go ahead. Now what else you got?
All right, let's finish up with a whole new milk, this new kid on the block.
What we got here?
It's called designer milk. Yeah. Designer milk.
What the hell is designer milk? Is Gucci gonna make milk next? Yeah, you wanna lose weight? Take a few sips and forget about the weight. You'll lose so much weight you'll disappear to put your picture on the back of the milk carton with a perfectly manicured milk mustache. Milk from Gucci.
Well, it's not far off. What you just picked up there, that actually is called Fairlife. Coca-Cola makes that.
That's right.
Please explain to me, why are people making designer milks? Why would the consumers want to try it?
Well, this is brand new, and I'm getting a lot of questions about this. So they start with fresh milk, and then they use a special filtration process, and they dial down some of the nutrients that we might want to limit, like the milk sugars, and then they dial up some of the things that we might want more of, like protein and calcium. So that's the deal with the designer
you taste
milk.
First. That's designer or not?
We have these are both. You sure you can afford that?
I'll tell you, I think this is really good.
Oh, how long has this been in here? This isn't milk. This is cottage cheese.
This is full. Now, are you concerned that a soft drink company is making milk?
Yeah, this is raising a lot of eyebrows. I think, it's probably a lot better for us than a lot of what they've been selling us for the last years. Yeah. On the other hand, all that processing costs something. So you are going to be paying more. It's designer milk in more ways than one. And some might argue maybe milk is a food that doesn't really need to be improved.
Yeah. I got to say, I'd rather companies make products that are good for us. And I want to applaud people for trying to do that. All right, you can catch Vic.
I got one question. Is this chocolate milk?
Oh, my goodness. Give me that. You can't afford that.
How'd that get out?
You know why I can't afford it? He's starting with...
Is it true? My wife told me chocolate milk doesn't come from brown cows. Is that true?
He's starting with Kevin James now when he says that kind of stuff. Mall Cop Part 2. Fixing the movie, right?
April 17th it comes out.
Do you survive?
Yes, I'm in the whole movie. I play Gino Cizzetti, a mall cop from Staten Island who drinks his milk.
Yeah. All right. You can also catch him on an exclusive Oz5 video at Oz.com. We'll be right back.
Thank you. I'm gonna get the bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and
All new Emmy-nominated Dr. Oz show. Juliana Rancic.
How you doing now?
Sets the record straight on the eating disorder rumors, the stress and scrutiny of her health, her marriage, her job, and her heartbreaking baby news. Plus,
What's for dinner?
healthy one-pot wonders that are cheap
That's my kind of meal.
and will feed the whole family.
I'm putting my bib on now.
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
Now it's time for In Case You Missed It. First, we had some real fun today with the Real Housewives of New York. They dropped by, and I'm not sure what Lisa will think of this, but my staff came up with a few possible taglines if I were a housewife. Take a look. The Big Apple isn't keeping this doctor away. The doctor will see you now. When I bring healthy back, I do it in style. I can handle trauma, but I can't deal with drama. So, do you all have a favorite? Yeah, you can let me know by voting on DrOz.com. Let me know which one you think I should be using next year. And before we go, today is World Health Day, a day for all of us to bring important health issues into the spotlight. And I want to take an opportunity to highlight 3 topics that were not being discussed 6 years ago when we started the show. So I'm going to share a special video on my Facebook page that highlights these issues. I feel strongly they ought to be on your radar. So take a look and share it on your own Facebook wall to keep the conversation going.